All right, I just had a few thoughts with regards to the upper back. I was just finished a little boxing workout with my coach over here, and a couple of things about the upper back. And I was thinking about people who have kyphosis. And for people who don't know what being kyphotic is or having kyphosis means, your upper back might have a little bit of a hunchback kind of look when you're standing up as straight as you can. So it's trying to avoid that position there. So it's not necessarily having poor lower back posture, but it's that upper back having that slouch. A lot of people naturally slouch, I naturally slouch, but I'm not necessarily kyphotic. It's more of a skeletal problem that it's really something that needs to be corrected. And so you really see a pronounced slouch in that mid-back and that upper back for when people are suffering from kyphosis or they're kyphotic. And so different measures need to be taken. So when I have a lot of clients who have presented kyphosis or they're kyphotic, the first thing that a lot of people think of, me included, is by doing exercises to strengthen their upper back, possibly opening up their chest at the same time in order to restore that balance or create that balance in the first place. So an exercise that a lot of people will go for with regards to people who need back activation, who need just stronger upper back muscles and mid-back muscles, is a pull-up or a chin-up. You know, and it's even something that I've used in the past to help address that. But the thing about pull-ups and chin-ups with regards to people who are kyphotic is that it could actually be a hidden danger for shoulder health. You know, in general, a regular pull-up can be kind of hard on the shoulder as compared to a horizontal pull exercise that can also activate the upper back or mid-back muscles. So whereas a horizontal pull exercise might look like this, a pull-up is coming from way up above here. And one of the things necessary, you have to have the requisite mobility in the shoulder capsule in order for you to even assume the position naturally. So if somebody has problems being in this position right here where their hands are over their head, they're going to run into problems in terms of the range of motion or just how damaging it could be to the shoulder, even if the exercise is intended to do well instead of doing harm. So if you think about somebody who's kyphotic, it means that their upper back and their upper spine and their mid-spine is sort of coming around like this. That can put the scapula or the shoulder blades in a position that's not really ideal either, where it might be up a little bit higher or it might be even winging outwards like this as a result of that, as a byproduct of that. It places the head of the humerus or the shoulder in a further forward position as well, and you're dealing with shoulder glide. There are a lot of byproducts that can happen from a bad spine position. So with that said, when you take that and you translate that into trying to put your arms overhead regularly, you'll see people have limitations in that range of motion, and it'll look something like this. In order for them to get overhead further, they might have to do something like that and arch back in order to achieve the position. So when we tether our hands to a pull-up bar or a chin-up bar, we might seem like we have the position just because we're anchored now. And so all of a sudden, when we're here and we go like this, it forces us into that position. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's doing a healthy thing for the shoulder, because it's not the intended range of motion, or it's not the range of motion that's capable of at this current time. A better choice for you to do is to do exercises that correct that imbalance first and can train the spine to properly extend without having any sort of load being bore over the shoulders or the hands position. Right? So doing exercises like a foam roller extension, for example, where you sit on a foam roller on your upper back and you sort of train the spine to go around that roller. That's a good example of an exercise that I like to use with clients to sort of just help train that thoracic extension. And there are more exercises too, like cat camels or bird dogs. Those are good exercises too. But it's getting a little bit aside from the point, because from the bottom of the lift, when we talk about the pull-up once again, we're looking at a position where if your back is rounding out like this, you're not going to be in the best shoulder position when you're underneath there. And it doubles up because of the fact that because you have the propensity to slouch forward like this, even if you do find yourself in a better position at the bottom, once you get to the top, you're going to have the propensity to slide right back over into that poor position. And that's what I see with 90% of clients who do pull-ups, who have kyphosis, is that that top position starts looking like this, instead of looking in a little bit of a thoracic extension the way that it should. Like that. So there's a big difference there when you do a chin-up, is that you don't want to finish closed like that, even if you are getting the bar past your face and you're getting your chin over the bar and so on. If your back position looks like this, that means all those muscles there aren't engaged and it looks all stretched like that. It's not going to do you much good. You might improve general pulling strength, but your back muscles aren't going to develop or actually change in terms of their contractile strength as a result of that. So you might be wasting a little bit of time and spinning your wheels. Better example is for you to do row exercises, do thoracic mobility drills, thoracic extension drills, and so on. And it's probably going to put you out of harm's way when it comes to doing chin-ups and when it comes to doing pull-ups, and get your back in the right position so that you can do chin-ups and do pull-ups safely. I always like to say that you should do rows more often than you do pull-ups. Both are very important exercises. The pull-ups are very important as well. But doing rows more often than pull-ups, especially if you suffer from conditions like this, it's probably going to be the most bang for your buck in order for you to get more results when it comes to your back and your back's health. And that's it.